Morning, everybody. We'll give the notification a chance to get out here before I talk too much. Wait till I see some bodies are actually watching on the screen here. But it is earlier than I wanted to be up and moving, but it's worth it. So, it's important. If my lazy butt's dragging out of bed before it normally would even to go to work. And unfortunately, I slept in longer than I meant to. I had a slight miscalculation of my math skills when I was setting my alarm last night. So I got up later than I should have. Got on the road later than I should have. But I tell you what, I've got some liquid gold in my gas tank. And I just did a live broadcast over on the NFOA YouTube and Facebook as well. And I had mentioned there that I'm headed down to Lincoln, even though I just spent $3.84 a gallon to top off my tank to get down to Lincoln here. Luckily, it was sitting just above 3/4. Anyway, so I didn't have to take out a personal loan to top it off, but I was close. Heading to Lincoln because today is the day to debate, not for us, but the first day of general file debate on LB 773 here in Nebraska. Constitutional carry is the poll motion was successful. It's headed to the main Senate floor for debate, and there are 3 rounds of debate. 449 in Ainsworth for the good stuff. Woo! Hey, Frankie. Hey, Tactical Fud. What's up, Jamie? So every round has 8 hours of debate, and by the time they have roll call, and I think they still have a flag salute. I'm not sure. First thing in the morning, but they won't get started with debate right at 9 o'clock, which means by 5 o'clock, 8 hours will not be up. So there will not be a vote today. That will actually happen tomorrow morning. But the first round of debate is all day today. Senator Brewer, NFOA, and a whole bunch of us are asking everybody, you, if you can, get to Lincoln, get to the Capitol. The debate's going to last all day long. So even if you can't make it first thing, then come hang out with us later. I know a couple people are getting off later in the day from work or had some prior engagements in the morning, and they're going to come hang out with us. And some of the people there in the morning, maybe you have to leave and go do stuff later in the day. But the more bodies we can get packed into that Capitol building, the more support we're going to be able to show as Nebraskans for that bill. So that means that I will not be getting home in time tonight to do a Get Off My Lawn podcast. It seems like lately all this legislative stuff goes down on a Thursday. Go figure. But it worked out because I was already off work today. It was already my scheduled day off. So I am blessed to make the trip down here to Lincoln. And even though I won't get to town as early as I had hoped I should, hopefully I get a decent parking space within, 10 or 20 miles of the Capitol downtown there. And I won't have to walk too far. And I'll get in there before 9 o'clock. So if you missed it last night over on the NFOA side on YouTube and Facebook both, we had a great live online town hall meeting again, where we went through and talked about the bill, what it is, what it isn't, talked about the latest amendment that is a source of contention for some people, what that is, what that isn't. And I encourage you to go over and watch that over on the NFOA side if you haven't yet, if you want to know actually what's going on. And the reason why NRA, ILA, and NAGR are willing to oppose this bill, or at least oppose that amendment. But what they don't seem to grasp is without that amendment, we don't get anything. Without that amendment in place, we don't have enough senators to vote yes. Because without that amendment in place, we don't have the support, or at least the neutral stance, of OPOA, Omaha Police Officers Association. That's their union over there. And so if they oppose this, which they do without that amendment, if they oppose this, then we don't have a bill to pass because it won't get anywhere. And then we get nothing. We get no constitutional carry. Omaha still has a registry that can be weaponized against residents to not let them have a firearm, even if they're able to possess it anywhere else in the state, because they're not federally prohibited from possessing a firearm. And this bill also will make the state statutes match what is federally prohibited and nothing extra. So basically, the questions that you fill out when you're checking the boxes on a 4473, all those things, if you mark yes to any of them, besides, you mark yes to the first one that you're a citizen, or is that the one that the gun is for you? I don't. Yeah. Anyway. No, it's the one that the gun is for you. The rest of them, do you use drugs? Have you ever been dishonorably discharged? All those things. When you mark no on all those, if you marked yes, then you're prohibited from possessing the firearm. So our state law with the passage of this bill, our state law will match that exactly. So if you are federally able to possess the firearm, then you will be able to possess the firearm legally in Nebraska. Everything will match. And with that amendment in place, even though there's still a registration in Omaha, here's what's cool. Right now, there's some stuff that, again, they can deny the registration, which means you can't even go back to the gun store and pick up the gun you just paid for that you can't have yet because you got to register it before you can possess it. So go to the gun store, buy the gun, go to the police station, register it, go back to the gun store with the registration, then they can release the gun to you and let you have it. Even if you have got your purchase permit and you're not stuck waiting around or anything like that, that's still a process. But there are some things that they can deny you for that, again, you can have the gun outside of Omaha and still be perfectly legal. They weaponize it. And so this takes that away. And even though we have to leave the registration where it is and agree to disagree there, fight that battle another day, at least it makes it shall issue. So if you can purchase the firearm, you can have it in Omaha. They have to register it. They cannot deny you, as long as you meet all the criteria that you meet in order to be able to legally purchase and possess the handgun at all. And so that's a good thing, and it's better than it was. It's not everything we wanted, but there's no such thing as everything that we wanted in one bill. So don't let anybody tell you that this makes a statewide registry. That's BS. Don't let anybody tell you that it makes it to where any town can have a registry, because that's not true either. Only towns of a certain size can have a registry. Not even Lincoln's big enough to have a full-blown registry like Omaha's, although Lincoln has a backdoor registry because they require dealers to report the sales of the firearms to the police. So you don't have to register it, but rest assured, you buy a gun in Lincoln, the police know that you bought it because the dealer has to comply with that. So, yeah, isn't that great? It's not a registry. It's not a registry. They say it's not a registry. Must not be a registry. It's a registry. But it's not. But it falls within the bounds of what they can and can't do in Lincoln. So unless there's a town that's almost as big as Omaha that pops up in Nebraska, there won't be another town that can have a firearm registry. But this one at least gets better. So that's a good thing. Without this, like I said, without that amendment, we don't get anything at all. And I hope that you guys are fired up enough after all this, knowing that we can achieve this. I hope you're fired up enough to be willing to take the victory that we can take instead of coming up short and having nothing, literally no changes whatsoever, because without that amendment, it doesn't go through. Even with the amendment, check this out, the poll motion that happened on Tuesday, 30-12 was the vote, with 7 senators not present to vote at all. So 30 people voted to pull it out of committee. We needed 25, so we had 5 more than we needed for that. But Brewer's expecting an 8-hour filibuster today. He's expecting that it's not the debates are not going to be productive because of the filibusters. And so in order to defeat a filibuster, we need 33 votes. And I don't know that he's got them. He won't call for a vote until he knows for sure he's got the support to bust the filibuster. And so does that make it a filibuster buster? Not sure. I'm learning all this as I go along too, guys. I didn't know how the legislative process really worked that well until I got involved with NFOA. So I'm learning, and as I learn, I'm trying to relay it to all of you, so you kind of have a little bit better idea too. because it's kind of like we always view that building and that chamber and those senators as kind of Oz the great and powerful, and then turns out, well, if you knew what was happening behind the curtain, you wouldn't be very happy about the way that it almost feels like being hoodwinked sometimes. And I'm not saying that the senators are dishonest. I'm just saying that there's a whole lot of quid pro quo and go along to get along and stuff like that happens in those chambers and those halls that they don't tell us about. And if you want to get anything done, you have to learn how to play the game, and the good ones learn how to play the game without compromising who they are, and what their constituents sent them there to do. So that it's still possible. There are a few down there still who are actually willing to say what they're going to do and then do what they said they'd do. But unfortunately, there's a lot of them that they're like a leaf. Any wind will blow them. Isn't that from Lonesome Dove? That's what Gus said about Jake. Jake's like a leaf. Any wind will blow him. And so those are the senators that we really need to lean on, guys. Those are the ones that they maybe haven't made up their mind yet, or they just haven't heard a good enough reason to support it. So call them up. Give them a good enough reason to support it. Give them some stories why it would be beneficial for you to be able to carry without having to go to the state and get a permit. Maybe it's the fact that you're out in western Nebraska and you can't take off work 2 days to go, number one, take a class, and then number two, takes a whole day for some of you to drive to North Platte or wherever the local state patrol headquarters is in order to get the fingerprinting done, because they're not like driver's licenses where you can go to any courthouse and do it. You've got to go to the state patrol troop headquarters, and there's 5 of them outside of Lincoln across the state. So if you're not close to one of those big towns that has one, then you have got to travel to one of those bigger towns. And so yeah, I know what it's like. You guys know where I came from, Kippahaw County. Driving to Norfolk or Kearney is the closest you can get to, or maybe North Platte, depending on where you are out there, to get to a troop headquarters to even get your fingerprints and get your application turned in for the permit. So yeah, it sucks. It would be great just to be able to exercise our constitutional rights, wouldn't it? To just be able to put that firearm on, and then it's cold, put your coat on. Oh my gosh, my coat covers it up. I don't want to be a criminal. That's bad. Or how many of you out there on the farms and on the ranches have a 22 pistol under the pickup seat for skunks or whatnot, and forget about it and leave the place, get out on the road and drive into town, and that's still under there. Forgot all about it, didn't even realize you were breaking a law. But with this bill passage, you wouldn't be breaking a law. And so that could stay there, and you wouldn't have to go through and do a checklist, a walk around of your vehicle just to take it into town and remember that you don't want to break any laws. So and nobody wants a pistol just flopping around loose on the seat, bouncing around, getting knocked to the floor or anything like that. That's not the safe way to do it either. So I get it. I want you to be able to put that under the seat, behind the seat, in the glove box, whatever works, not be breaking any laws. So, all right, what else do we have going out there? Jamie's right, leave the guns home. Even Senator Brewer has asked people to not open carry, and you can't concealed carry in the court or in the state capitol because there is a courtroom in the building. And so we're legally prohibited from concealed carry in the building. Please don't open carry today. It's not going to do any good. This is a concealed carry bill. Open carry doesn't advance the agenda one bit, but it might make some people uncomfortable, and it might make the news. And yeah, you might get your 15 minutes of fame, but it's not worth it because you're going to undo everything that we're working on. So come in, be respectful, disarm, be respectful, get together. Let's have a big old assembly of citizens in a public building where we can be, but be respectful. Can I say that enough times? Mind your manners. Don't give them any reason to call us insurrectionists, because we're not. We're not even protesting. We're just hanging out. We're getting together. We're not doing a thing with a bullhorn or a megaphone. You know, we're not going to walk around with signs and chant or anything like that. That's not what we're there for. We're just there to be there. Just being there is what we need. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. Just come out, hang out. If you want some more info, come on and talk to us. I mentioned last night on the live town hall meeting, whoever drives in the farthest to get to the Capitol, whichever Nebraskan comes the farthest to be there today, I'm going to give a hat just like this one, but not sweated in. Brand new, never been worn, and they're going to get a hat. So come up and find me today, and let me know how far you came. And I'm going to be keeping a list here of who that person is that came the farthest, so that I can give them a hat. So come hang out with us, and just be there. That's all we need. What else do we have going on? Be careful out there. Southpaw will do. Defense Dad, I'm driving safe even though I'm running my mouth and talking while I'm doing it. Travis says it's a little slick, so be safe. Good deal. Good to know. I will plan accordingly. AAF, I think that means American AF, but it says American Ammo and Firearms with the fist bump. Yeah, long response times due to the distance, but I mean that constitutional carry doesn't really change much there. You still have open carry right now legal as an option without a permit. So, I mean, if response times are the only concern, that might not be a big selling point, but it is a point. It is still a point to be made. All right, and a few people that are buttering me up and telling me that they love me, and you know what? I love you guys back. So, you know what? You guys are the reason that I even got involved to begin with. If it wasn't for you Sandhillers, then I wouldn't be on the NFOA board. Actually, you know what? Y'all owe Travis a thank you, because if it wasn't for Travis, I wouldn't even have gotten on YouTube and started doing the Sandhills things. So that's all Travis P11 right there. So all right, I am in Columbus. I'm making pretty good time, but not good enough. I still need to. Luckily, I was able to drive 70, and I can for a few more miles, and I have to slow it down some. But yep, heading to the Capitol. Hope to see everybody there, and tune in. We will try to schedule a recap video, Trish and me. Probably going to be next week, because the rest of this week is shot for me for evenings now. But we'll try to schedule a recap video for sometime next week that we could just go and tell people kind of what happened. But yeah, watch the news. If you don't see anything on the news, then you'll know it was successful, which sucks. But if we give them nothing bad to report, then there won't be much to report at all, other than, oh, look, hundreds of Nebraskans turned out in support of this bill. And that's all I want them to be able to say, nothing else. So that's where we really have to watch it. After that debacle, the fiasco at the nation's capital, you know, in 2021, we really got to mind our P's and Q's. So everybody be respectful. If people are trying to get through the crowd, open up, make them a hole. Don't block their progress, or else we'll have to move. It's still a public thoroughfare inside that building, right? It's a public building, so we can't impede foot traffic in there. We have to let people through. We can't stop people from getting from one end to the other. So try to leave some avenues for people to walk, and again, be respectful. Don't make those people scared to come through. Make sure that they know that we're just there to hang out, that we support their rights, even if they don't support ours, but we respect them. Even if we don't feel like respecting them, we will act respectful towards them. So I cannot stress enough to take the high road, and if we see the folks coming in from you know, with the red t-shirts demanding some action, be respectful. You know what? If you want to engage them in conversation, do so. Don't try to gotcha them. Just have a real conversation with them, like they're a human being and you're a human being, and let them know that we're just people that want our freedoms left alone, but we're not after their kids. We're not. We don't care more about our guns than their kids. We just believe that the best way to keep their kids safe is for us to keep our guns and be able to have them with us when somebody tries to shoot up a crowd of people, a school, whatever it is. So yeah, please plan accordingly, and just remember that yeah, you might have to eat some crow. Yeah, you might have to bite your tongue. Yeah, there might be people trying to get you into an argument. Hopefully that won't happen today. But don't give them what they want. Make sure that we give them a big old nothing burger to serve up as far as how we're violent, bloodthirsty criminals, because we're not. We're law-abiding, background check passing citizens, and we're going to act like it. And here's the kicker, guys. We're Nebraskans. We're going to act like we're Nebraskans. Nebraskans are the best people on earth, the friendliest people on earth, the most neighborly people on earth. Damn it, we're going to act like it today. All right, I'm going to drive and listen to some tunes or something and just get myself pumped up the rest of the trip. I'm a few miles away from losing good coverage, and I don't want my broadcast to go all robot-y. So, like I said, if you can support us, show up. Whether you can show up or not, call Nebraska state senators and ask them to support it. Thank Senator Brewer and ask the rest of them to support this bill. Even the co-sponsors, they need to hear from you. They need to hear that they did the right thing, that they made the right choice. So ask them to support it. And if you find out that they co-sponsor the bill, then make sure that they know that you appreciate that effort as well. So, all right, I am switch lanes here. All right, gonna sign off. We love you guys. God bless you guys. We'll see you at the Capitol. Wish us luck.